तो आज हम एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप को कवर करेंगे थॉरली. So basically we will start with the basic introduction. So what is an entrepreneur? Basically, entrepreneur challenges the unknown, and it recognizes the opportunities where others see confusion and chaos, and basically an aggressive catalyst. It goes for the change, and basically challenge the future and continuously aim for the future and innovation. This is basically an entrepreneur mindset, and entrepreneurship is basically means to undertake, and entrepreneur basically understand the is basically undertaking of organizing and managing and assuming risk of a business. So basically, uh, uh, undertaking comes under two things: organizing and managing. Organizing means monitoring and implementing strategies, and managing involves planning and the controlling of operations. So this is a brief summary of dynamic process. Entrepreneurship is a dynamic process of creating incremental wealth, and assumption of major risk is involved, commitment, and a product of service which gives value for the product or service. This is another definition of entrepreneurship: the dynamic process of vision, change, and creation, implementation of new ideas and creative solutions. So essential ingredients include a willingness to take calculated risk, and ability to formulate effective venture team, solid business plan, and basically recognize the opportunities. So this is the entrepreneurship process. You identify the opportunities where the existing products are lacking or any problem. You come up with a solution basically. Then you acquire the necessary resources, and then you go for it and implement it. So why we have very exceptional entrepreneurs in the United States? There's a reason for that. They have a culture test for risk and opportunities with low fear of failure, and their alertness to the unexploited economy. So as we have saw a lot of because these minority, we have also seen the minority entrepreneurs which can also contribute to the country's economy. So US leadership is also, they are also educating entrepreneurship at both at undergraduate levels, graduate levels, and even high school levels. And the high percentage of professionals are also coming into the entrepreneurship field. So, so what are the common characteristics of entrepreneur? What qualities do they possess? So basically, what you can, how you can memorize this, you can learn this code: O, HIP, C. It's I, code HIP C. Commitment, opportunity, drive, and initiative. You have to be persistent, seeking for the feedback, and internal locus of a control. Basically, you have to be committed. You have to be determined. You have to you have to have drive for success and achievement. You have to also be opportunist, initiative, and persistent with problem solving. You also want to be seeking feedback continuously for the improvement, and internal locus. Basically, what does this mean? Internal locus of control means how you basically react and assess the failure and success of your organization or setup. So these are also some other: team building, independence, confidence is basically your vision, creativity, your energy level, calculated risk taking, and also the tolerance of failure. So, what are the basic risk and dark side of entrepreneur? There is a financial risk involved, and there is also a career risk. You may be quitting your a well settled career and not knowing that whether your entrepreneurship is going to be successful or not. You also family and social life is at stake. Also psychological impact of failure. well-being of a person and also of concern. So how do you basically this entrepreneurship process starts with the opportunity. So basically, how do you identify opportunities? So opportunity is basically a new idea. It's basically is opportunity is very central to entrepreneurship. To basically pursuit for the ideas and the innovative process. And basically, the first step in entrepreneurship is basically a good idea. So creativity and imagination are two key components of entrepreneurship idea generation. Creativity thinking plus systematic analysis. So basically, you think for a solution, think for a new idea, a new or new innovation of an existing product. So basically, that's your critical thinking. Then there is systematic analysis. You gather all the resources and do all these financial analysis, and when you combine both of them together that's basically entrepreneurship, successful entrepreneurship. So you basically seek out for the opportunities and turn into problem into solutions, because it is said what demand is to supply. Similarly, entrepreneurs believe that problems are the solutions. So creativity thinking is basically a generation of ideas. There are two aspects for that process. Is goal oriented. It is designed to attain a solution, and people are the ones who are going to determine that solution. Those are the resources for you. Basically, how do you create a creative climate in an organization or any facility? Basically, a trustful management that's allowed that allows the freedom of that does not over control the employees, and there's open channel of communication, variety of personality types that can bring in the diversity of ideas, and willingness to accept challenges, and basically trial and error is allowed. Encourage ideas are encouraged, and resources and enough managerial support is also there. That's how you create a creative climate. So innovation is the process by which entrepreneurs convert opportunities into marketable ideas. Is basically innovation is the core around which your entrepreneurship is revolving. So there are different types of innovation. You basically invent a new product or idea or service. Then there's extension. You basically there's an existing product or service already in the market, and you basically extend it in some kind of a way. And there's a duplication. You basically replicate an already existing product or an idea with an innovative or more creative. I guess you can say a more creative way, and there's a synthesis where you combine one of these together. So synthesis combination of distinct concepts and factors. And so these are basically the myths about innovation, that big projects deliver more innovation than smaller ones. Technology is the driving force. Innovation is planned, predictable. So, so intention is basically is very important and very closely related to entrepreneurship. Intention is stronger when its action is perceived to be feasible and desirable, and this is very important. Your entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs should realize that their idea or their you can say mission statement or their business plan should be feasible and should be realistic. So that's gonna push you, and that's gonna be more successful as compared to the one which are not measurable and not realistic. So basic characteristic: education is very pivotal, provides a background, and and it enhances your communication skills and makes you a better analyzer of and problem solver. So basic the age life of entrepreneurs between 22 and 45. And so how do you come to entrepreneurship? Basically, there are two work history. If you want to relate it with the work, then there will be two factors. Either you are dissatisfied with your already existing job, or your previous technical and industrial experience was not very good, and you want to convert and try a new venture, and you come to the entrepreneurship field. So how you, as you can see, there are role models, and people try to follow role models in any of their field. So similarly, in entrepreneurship, you follow role models. Role models. It can be your parents, your any successful entrepreneur, or any influencer. So okay, now we come to the sport. Everyone needs sports. So entrepreneurs also need sports. It can be coming from the friends, your relatives. Then there's professional sport, which which can be taken from the professionals like your trade associates, personal affiliations, and suppliers. Um, okay, entrepreneurship invention within the existing organization. So there's an organization you want to convert, or you want to induct entrepreneurship intention within the existing organization. So what you do is basically top management has to decide. So top management is very the key component in the corporate sector for creating an entrepreneurship intention. So they must create an creative environment and entrepreneurship environment in the organization. So they have to encourage the employees to think and act freely and entrepreneurially, and employees will realize that so that their action is both personally desirable and feasible. So there's a comparison between the managerial decision making and entrepreneurial decision making. So managerial decision making very safe, slow, and steady. So uh, opportunity search is very restricted because of the resources, and failure is not the thing which is allowed. On the other hand, entrepreneurial decision making is driven by the opportunity, and your main focus is on the rapid growth, and basically it is the leader mindset. So, so this is my manager is basically what I like to say is a positive decision making, whereas the entrepreneurial decision making is a kind of leadership mindset, and basically leadership decision making. Basically, in entrepreneurship, we create leaders, and entrepreneurs are basically leaders. So entrepreneurial environment is basically new ideas are encouraged, failure is allowed, trial and error is encouraged. So you think of a long term horizon. You no matter what, if your employees are employees the intention or innovations are failing, you basically take it for the innovation. And support of top management is very pivotal, and you basically you basically tie a reward for innovation and successful venture. So leadership characteristic of a corporate entrepreneur is basically understand the environment is visionary and flexible, encourage teamwork, open discussion is allowed. So basically there is step by step process of establishing corporate entrepreneurship in organization. So step one, basically you set an initial framework, you base the concept, and you realize and train corporate entrepreneurs. So that's step one. Step two is that you identify areas that top management is interested in. So basically, you have to address top management and get permission from them. So basically, your idea must um, please the top management. Then you identify the risk. You do the financial analysis and this type of analysis, systematic analysis. Then you establish the expectations and your um, future targets. Then you use the technology. Then you train employees and you perform better with the less resources. Then you can get connected with the customers. You have to be more productive with fewer resources. Then there is a strong support structure for both the customers and the employees within the organization. And you basically tie reward to the performance. So we discussed thoroughly about the corporate entrepreneurship and corporate entrepreneurship is maybe formal informal, and it's about creating new business in established companies. So basically there is a company and you want to establish a new idea, so that's corporate entrepreneurship. You basically bring in the new products or products or processes and in an innovative way and develop your market more. So basically there's a new venture creation within existing organization. So there is a 5 step for establishing this thinking in a organization. Basically, you set explicit goals, feedback system is enforced, individual responsibilities emphasized, and failure is not punished, and reward for the innovative ideas. This is how you can re-engineer the entrepreneur mindset. Actions are encouraged, tolerate failures are tolerated, informal meetings, communication is allowed, reward is pivotal. Bootlegging is basically an is copying or borrowing an idea cleverly without the other person knowing it, whose idea is being whose idea is being basically you can say out of I don't know how to put it. Put people on small teams for future oriented projects. So that was so. What are the obstacles for entrepreneurial philosophy? Basically, there's a lack of time. You have to lot of time for the brainstorming, for the systematic analysis, financial analysis, gathering of resources, training the employees, and then taking the permission of the top management. So there's a lack of time. Then there's a lack of reward due to the resources shortcomings, lack of people with vision. Vision is very important. So not everyone can be entrepreneur because the entrepreneurs have a vision. So there's a Setia culture means the decision is controlled by the top management, and very less freedom is given to the employees. There is a resistance change within the organization. So there are some questions to this top management decision making. I guess you can say culture. Does your company encourage entrepreneurship thinking? Provide ways for innovators? How is the company involved? Is your company on way to market leader, or your company allowed to work in their way? The employees. So how basically you develop a vision statement or mission statement for your business plan or your organization. So basically there are 9 components to that. Customer, who are your customers? How do you benefit them? And there's a product and services. What are your products and what are your services going to be? Then what is going to be your target market? And then there is technology. What technology are you using? What innovation are you bringing into the market? Then there's a concern for the survival. Is your company committed to growth and financial sounding? So people are uh, like people are more, I guess you can say, people want to people want to get connected with the organization or firm which is going to stay for long and which is committed for the financial soundness. Then there's a philosophy. What are your beliefs? How your company want to operate? How your organization basically organize? And these are the things come under the philosophy. Then there's a self concept. What are your concepts, competencies? So what is it that makes you better than your competitors? then concerned public images, and how do you basically treat your employees. So that was it. We're gonna stop here, then we're gonna continue from the next chapter.